Good afternoon. Welcome to our post-game report on the South Carolina-Texas A&M game here in College Station, Texas. Our report is brought to you by the South Carolina Beef Council. Tough one for the Gamecocks. One the Gamecock fans will be talking about for a long time and for the wrong reason. 31-30, Texas A&M rallies to beat the Gamecocks in front of 105,000 plus, fifth largest crowd ever here at Kyle Field. Boy, at halftime, if you had walked away to go get something to eat or maybe run an errand, you're a Gamecock fan, you're feeling like you got this one in the bag, you're leading 30-3 at halftime, and everything is going your way. And then Texas A&M woke up in the second half, hit the Gamecocks with touchdowns on 4 consecutive possessions to take the lead. Even then, South Carolina had a chance late after A&M fumbled the ball away. The Gamecocks moved the ball up to about the 30, 35, maybe 40-yard line, then a couple of sacks on Sellers into that last chance. Texas A&M, the third-ranked team in the country, they looked awful in the first half. South Carolina took the game to the Aggies. South Carolina offensively with Mike Furry calling the plays. South Carolina was more precise. They were very smart with their offense. The play calling was good. They made a couple of changes. Howell got more playing time in the first half, the running back. Surratt was playing out at right tackle. South Carolina just seemed to be on its game offensively. Sellers was very sharp throwing the football in the first half. The Gamecocks took advantage of turnovers. There were some near turnovers by Texas A&M, some big plays by South Carolina. Joyce kicked the ball well for field goals. And the Gamecocks built that lead of 30-3. Texas A&M was just struggling. Turnovers, poor blocking on their offensive front, penalties at the wrong time. Marcel Reed looked really bad in the first half. He missed receivers. South Carolina kept him bottled up well from a running standpoint. Everything was working well for South Carolina in that first half. And then came halftime. And things changed totally. A&M came out. They looked precise. They looked enthused. They looked like the more physical offensive team. And like I said, they scored on 4 straight possessions while South Carolina had 3 and outs, had a 4-play drive and out. Just couldn't get it going on the offensive side in the second half. It seemed like South Carolina slowed down just a little bit. It seemed like to me they were taking more time, trying to run the clock a little bit. Shane Beamer says, no, they did not grow conservative in the second half. Really didn't do anything all that much different in terms of play calling and approach to things in the second half. But it kind of looked that way. So A&M scores those 4 touchdowns and they go up. Yet again, South Carolina had that last chance to go down and kick a field goal and couldn't get it done. So like so many games for South Carolina this season in the SEC, close but no cigar. The Gamecocks, another game where they had a lead in the fourth quarter and couldn't finish the job. That's going to be the off-season mantra for this team, no doubt, and that is finish the job. This year's team just could not finish the job. The Gamecocks are now 3-7 overall. They finished their SEC season at 1-7. Of course, they will not be able to make it to a bowl game this season with only 2 games remaining. This come-from-behind win, the greatest in Texas A&M history, and it's also one of the largest blown leads ever in SEC play. So not the kind of record you wanted to set here today if you were South Carolina. They had high hopes coming into this game because of how they beat Texas A&M in Columbia last year. And Shane Beamer said he wasn't surprised that they were leading the way they were at halftime. No surprise to him at all. They expected to come in here and win, and for 30 minutes they played that way. And then for 30 minutes they played not to lose, and that eventually caught up with them because – I mean, Texas A&M's too good a team, too much talent. Running backs, receivers, speed at wide receiver. KC Concepcion, for example, had some major plays in this game, both in terms of receiving and in returns. So too much talent on that side for Texas A&M to be held down for 60 minutes. So Gamecocks got away with it for 30 minutes. One other note here, injury-wise, Nick Harbor, who had a terrific game, had that long touchdown catch and run, and another catch late in the game to give the Gamecocks a chance on that last drive, but he was hurt. and he was going to be taken to the hospital to be further examined, just precautionary, because a defender fell on his chest, and they want to make sure everything is good to go there. So a dominant first half performance by South Carolina goes by the boards in the second half as Marcel Reed heated up at quarterback. He hit 13 of 15 passes at one time, finished up with a big second half, and again, 4 straight possessions with touchdowns for Texas A&M turned the game in their favor, and South Carolina just could not respond. We'll have more from Shane Beamer on his conference call Sunday as the Gamecocks will get ready for Coastal Carolina and then Clemson after that. And, of course, we'll talk about this game with you Monday night on Sports Talk. Look forward to hearing what you have to say about this 31-30 loss by the Gamecocks here to Texas A&M in College Station. That'll do it for our report, brought to you by the South Carolina Beef Council. Texas A&M beats the Gamecocks 31-30.